Get past YouTube, Elmas here, and I have for you guys today the team analysis of the Durham Druddigons for the UCL. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's actually a new league that I've actually been very grateful, I guess is the word I'm looking for, to be able to join. It's got a bunch of my friends in there, and it's definitely some tough competition. So, for those of you wondering, yes, I am an EXPNU and the UCL, which in my opinion is just phenomenal because the Black City Superiors will win the EXPNU League and the Durham Druddigons will win the UCL League. So, first time being in leagues and I'm going to win them both. I know I'm going to win them both. No, I'm just messing around. Hopefully I can do good in both leagues. My goal in both leagues is to at least get to the finals. So, yeah. Anyways, you guys are here to find out why I chose the Pokemon that I chose. Two things actually before I start. First off, if you guys are excited to be supporting the Durham Druddigons, make sure to hit the like button down below and let's let everybody know who we are, because I actually think, like, I'm 99.9% positive that the Durham Druddigons and I myself am probably not only the least subscribed person out of the whole UCL, but probably the least known out of the whole UCL, which doesn't bother me. It actually kind of makes me excited because everybody's going to be seeing their favorite YouTubers lose to this little YouTuber that, like, they've never ever heard of. And just, I'm excited because I definitely feel like we can pull out a Cinderella story. The underdog's going all the way, well, almost all the way, but I'm excited, I really am. So let's go ahead and get this started. First off, for those of you who are wondering, everybody chose 3 Pokemon from OU, UU, RU, and NU. Every time we got to a new tier, we were randomized, and then we started snake draft order. For OU, I actually got really lucky, and I was able to go 3rd. Literally, for rounds UU and RU, I got 8. I got randomized and chose 8 both times. And then for NU, I got picked 7th. So, yeah. But I still think we got some very solid picks for the Durham Druddigons. So, with that being said, let's get this started. Introducing first off, my first pick for the Durham Druddigons, I should say first pick for us, the Durham Druddigons, was Mega Charizard X. And the reason why I wanted to go with Mega Charizard X as opposed to something like Mega Altaria that I chose in EXPNU, I was actually very close to choosing Mega Altaria over Megazard X, but ultimately I decided that Megazard X, I think, would be better just because with Altaria, in order for it to really do damage, you needed to set up a boosting move. At least that's what I've noticed from my 2 EXPNU matches. As were with Charizard being adamant, having Tough Claws, Flare Blitz, and Outrage already boosted, it can just come in, Mega Evolve, and potentially OHKO or 2KO something already on my opponent's team. So that's ultimately why I wanted to choose Megazard X. I really thought that it would be a much stronger pick than Mega Altaria. And that's really all. Plus, it does have some good supporting moves. It has Will-O-Wisp, it has Tailwind. You can go Tailwind Swords Dance potentially. It can be bulky. Unfortunately, with me choosing Megazard X, nobody else can use Megazard Y. That's kind of what we chose on. Honestly, I think it's dumb, but that's just how things work. So nobody can have Megazard Y. So for those of you who like Megazard Y, I apologize, but I want a Megazard X because Megazard X will definitely be putting in the work for the Durham Druddigons. So starting off with a Dragon type, very powerful Dragon and powerful Mega in Megazard X. Next off for the second round pick, I believe this is where I went 9th because I was 3rd, then we went all the way down and we went all the way back up. I was really surprised that nobody took Azumarill. Now, honestly, I was going to choose Clefable. I thought to myself, okay, I can choose Clefable in OU, and then I'll choose Cresselia in UU. I'll have a dominant wall core, and I'll have the fairy typing, a very solid fairy type that also has Unaware, can run stored power, can Calm Mind, can Heal Bell, can Wish, can get rocks, can be mixed, Fire Blast, HP Ground, Focus Blast, any of that shenanigan, and I'll be good. Unfortunately, though, literally right before it was my turn, I got sniped by Mo. And he wanted Clefable, and I got so frustrated because Clefable also really helped Megazord X if it got paralyzed, poisoned, frozen for whatever reason, and just it was really upsetting. It really was. But ultimately, I did have backups. It was either between Azumarill or Thundurus. It was between Azumarill, Thundurus, or Mew. And because it was Snake Draft order, I was pretty good to get at least 2 of those 3 picks. And ultimately, I weighted down to either Azumarill or Mew. And still with the thought process. Sorry, my mouth is kind of dry. Something to drink. It's whatever. With my thought process being, well, I can still get Cresselia in UU. So if I get Mew now, I don't really want to have 2 Psychic types on my team. So I went with Azumarill. Plus, Azumarill can hit extremely hard. It can be a Fat Wall too if my opponent has a strong Fire type. It has Zap Zipper. It can be a Salvest, Choice Banded, Belly Drum. Ultimately, I was really happy with the Azumarill, actually. I really thought it was a very solid pick. As much as I would have liked to have Clefable, it also gave me that very well-needed Water type that I might have ultimately forgot later in the pickings. But I was still really happy with Azumarill. However, though, I would still rather have Clefable, but that's just me. So, moving on to the 3rd pick for the Durham Druddigons, I chose for us to get the man that put in the work in my first 2 weeks of EXPNU, Thundurus Eye. And I'm actually really happy to have Thundurus Eye on my team, because it's a great mix attacker. It has Nasty Plot, it has priority Thunder Wave to shut down Pokemon that want to try to set up on me. Sorry. So I'm really excited to have Thundurus on the team. So that concludes the 3 OU picks in Megazord X, Azumarill, and Thundurus Eye. 3 phenomenal Pokemon in the OU tier that I'm definitely happy is on the team of the Durham Druddigons for us. So moving on to our UU picks. Oh my god, like I said, I was number 8 when it came to UU. And oh, I was so terrified. I was so scared and so terrified because there was literally only 1 UU Pokemon I wanted. Just one. And thank Arceus that nobody got her. It is the one and only amazingly beautiful pink wall known as Cresselia. Oh my god, I'm so happy to have Cresselia because in this format, it's so bulky. It has so many great supporting moves for a team. It can also be a late game sweeper. It's an amazing Pokemon in this league type of format, I would say. And I'm definitely happy that she will be making an appearance in EXPNU and UCL. So moving on to my, this is 5th, right? Yeah, my 5th pick. I wanted a ground type, I wanted something that could get rid of hazards, and I wanted something that could also get up hazards. So I think I kind of bit the bullet here, and I really did want Fortress. I really wanted Fortress, but I think Luke got Fortress, so I couldn't go Fortress. So ultimately, I decided to go with Gligar. Plus, Cresselia and Gligar can make a pretty nice wall core between the 2 of them. Gligar, like I said, I just needed it for rocks. I needed it to be able to get rid of hazards if necessary, especially for my Charizard. And I needed, ground type, hazards, and getting rid of hazards. Plus, it can also gain momentum with U-turn, which is really nice, so I was happy about that. So, I guess, I don't know. I guess I could leave it up to trade Gligar. I mean, it is nice to have, I suppose, but it's whatever, ultimately. I'm happy with it. I definitely think it'll be a key member of our team. And moving on to the final UU pick. I was kind of struggling between this one. I was really debating on either getting Manchow, Chestnut, or Shaman. And ultimately thinking about it, for RU, I was really banking on getting Rotom Mow at least. So I decided to go with Manchow just because if my opponent doesn't have a solid fighting resist, Scarf Reckless High Jump Kick can just do so much damage. You could also run the OG Life Orb Fake Out set, which hits hard as well. I could go mix with Hidden Power Ice. I can go Calm Mind, Baton Pass even. So there's definitely a lot of potential A lot of potential for Manchow definitely in this league for us. Sorry about that. That was my fault. That concludes the UU picks in the form of Cresselia, Gligar, and Manchow. I think Gligar was probably the weaker of our 3 picks, although it is nice to have on the team. I may leave it up to trade fodder. I may trade it off maybe. I don't know. I still think it'll put in a lot of work though, so I'm counting on you, Gligar. I'm counting on you. So moving on to our RU picks, like I said, got really unlucky in RU and I got picked number 8. Again. It's kind of upsetting, not gonna lie. Luckily though, even being number 8, nobody chose my first RU pick, which was Rotom Mo. Now the reason why I want Rotom Mo, even though yes I do have it in the EXPNU and I do already have Thundurus, it's just that Rotom Mo, with its most comments it being Scarfed, it's just an amazing Pokemon, honestly. It's really, really good. It's very fast, hits really hard, has access to Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave. It can even cripple walls that want to set up like Calm Mind, Clefable. Just bring in Scarf Rotom, trick it, lock it into whatever move, and then just go into your appropriate counter. And you pretty much shut down the potential biggest threat to your team. So I was really happy about that. Unfortunately, RU doesn't really have too many good Pokemon to be able to get rid of hazards. So moving on to the next pick was one Mon that I absolutely needed, because looking at the matchups, Nappy's combination of Gengar and Mega Gardevoir pretty much just shit on my entire team. Or our team, I should say. I still gotta get used to that. I apologize. But just completely shit on us. So, I really wanted Drapion or Skuntank. Now, I also wanted Drapion back in EXPNU. Unfortunately, I got sniped and I had to settle for Skuntank, which Skuntank is a good Pokemon, don't get me wrong. But I wanted to go with Drapion. Now, the reason why I wanted Drapion as opposed to Skuntank was because it's faster, has knockoff, has Whirlwind, and it has T-Spikes. Which means my opponent has to prepare for me potentially bringing Toxic Spikes, which can really give us a huge advantage, I would say. So, I'm definitely happy with us having Druddigon. Plus, it has such a crazy move pool, and also being able to run something like a Scarf Set to catch things off guard is going to be phenomenal for us. So, moving on to the final the final RU pick. This pick I'm actually kind of upset about. I really am, because at the time I was texting Joey, because this is when I had to go. So I was texting Joey what I wanted to be picked, and unfortunately my phone had died, so it wasn't charged. And apparently there was like a minute or 2 left, and Joey was like, "Do you want Dugtrio or Braviary?" I texted him Dugtrio before Braviary, and this man chose Braviary to later choose Dugtrio for his team. I really wanted Dugtrio. I would have rather had Dugtrio over Braviary any day of the week, because looking at the matchups, Dugtrio just traps so many Pokemon that otherwise would cause me problems. Jolteon, Skuntank, Infernape, Heatran, Gardevoir, Quillfish, what else? Rhydon, Cobalion, Sneasel if it's sashed. Just, you get what I'm trying to say. It's just, I would have rather had Dugtrio over Braviary. I don't know, maybe I can work something out with Joey, and I can trade him Braviary for Dugtrio for a week or 2 that I needed. And I don't know, although thinking about it, I guess Braviary isn't bad, because I mentioned this while I was commentating on the live stream. I think Flying type Stab is something that not many people are gonna prepare for. So Braviary having a base 123 attack, if I'm not mistaken, is still a very solid pick in my opinion, because it can still hit extremely hard. Does it get defog? I don't think it gets defog, does it? No, I don't think so. But it hits extremely hard. It has Sheer Force, which I guess is gonna be used for something. Defiant is really great if I'm going up against a Pokemon that has Defog or has Intimidate. For example, in our Week 1 matchup, we're going up against Its Nips and the Long Island Regirockies, and he has Mega Manetric. So if he tries to switch it in on my Brave Bird, he's going to get hit with a +1 potentially banded Brave Bird, which is still going to do a lot of damage. So, while I would have rather us have Druddigon, I think Braviary is still a solid pick for us to have. But I would have rather had Dugtrio. I would have rather had Dugtrio, honestly. Because at this point, the only Pokemon on the team that can even learn Rocks is Gligar. So that's a problem. And honestly, I did make one crucial error picking my Pokemon, and you're gonna see just what that error is. And looking back at it, my very last pick, I should have definitely swapped out for something else potentially. Maybe, just maybe. But we got Braviary as our final RU pick. So we're down to the NU tier, which in NU I got kind of lucky because, again, while I was texting Joey, he was asking me, what do I want for NU? And I was like, I want Milk Tank as my very first pick. And then, of course, we got into this whole just funny argument over it. And ultimately we decided, well, if I get chosen before Joey, I get Milk Tank as long as nobody else picks it. If Joey gets picked before me, he gets Milk Tank, of course, as long as nobody else picks it. So, after being randomized, I was number 7 and he was number 8. So, I literally just stole it right from him. And Joey, being the nice guy that he is, did choose Milk Tank for me. And the reason why I wanted Milk Tank is because it's another Fat Wall, it has Heal Belt, and can be a potential sweeper. Also has access to Stealth Rocks, another Thick Fat user, which is really nice. So ultimately, I think Milk Tank will definitely be a lot of help. Plus, in my Week 2 match in EXPNU, it really did come in handy. So definitely happy to have Milk Tank on our team. Moving on to the second to last pick for the Durham Druddigons was a Pokemon that I was really surprised nobody picked. And that is Tauros. The reason why I say Tauros is such a surprising pick is because in this type of format where you know what you're going to face, Tauros has Sheer Force, which means Fire Blast, Ice Beam, I think anything it's Thunderbolt, can all just be phenomenal moves with the Sheer Force boost and Life Orb boost, even though, yes, it does have a bit of a mediocre special attack stat. With those double boosts, it's going to be doing respectable damage to something that's 4 times weak, or that switches in to one of those moves. Plus, you have Rock Climb, you have Rock Slide, you have Zen Headbutt, it has Pursuit, it can be Scarfed. Oh my god, Tauros is just a phenomenal. It's really fast, too. It's like base 110 speed, so I'm definitely happy that Tauros was not taken. So I was really happy to have that on the Durham Druddigons. And then for the final pick for the Durham Druddigons, this is kind of something I was a little bit iffy about. And honestly, looking back at it, it has its pros and cons. I chose Lantern. Now you guys are asking yourself, you literally have only one way of getting rid of hazards on your team. Are you dumb? Slightly. Only having Gligar as our way of getting rid of hazards is really my fault. I should have thought it out a little bit better, because it was down to Lantern or Sandslash. It was down to Lantern or Sandslash. And ultimately, because we don't have anything to stop flying type moves, I chose Lantern. Plus, it also really helps us to take on... Actually, no, yeah. Tornadus is a flying type. Sorry. But yeah, ultimately I chose Lantern as another just bulky pivot mon. And I kind of wish I had Sandslash instead, because this way my opponent would have to prepare for either Sandslash or Gligar, and now they know that I'm going to be bringing Gligar if I bring Charizard. So that's going to be a little bit hindering to us, but I think we can still definitely pull out the victory, because I think we have good matchups for most of our matches. So while we may not have the best score, I still think we will be able to stay positive. But as I said at the beginning, we're going to pull out a Cinderella story, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to go all the way to Durham Druddigons. The least known team will be the underdogs, and be proving everybody wrong and beating all of yours. Yeah. All of your and other people's favorite YouTubers. Because I'm here to win. We are here to win. Alright guys, that concludes the Durham Druddigons. Hopefully y'all did enjoy this, and if you're hyped to be part of the Durham Druddigons, or if you support us, hit the like button down below. Let everybody know who we are. And with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all very soon.